our third and final question
This is
today.
kind of a fun question.
This is a fun question.
Yeah.
Was the question of, are abs genetic or are they made in the kitchen? Alex, I'll let you start and then I'll chime.
Where do we even start? Where do we even start with this? I don't even know. Because I feel like abs are the absolute like golden pedestal of fitness. Everybody wants to have a 6-pack abs. I mean, if you look at any fitness magazine, or rather, no, people don't use magazines, but Instagram, right? You always see people with their shirts off, and the most shredded of abs. I know I can remember, man, when I first started training, I was weightlifting and doing all this stuff. And I was like, man, I don't think I'll ever have abs. And that was one thing that I always coveted. I was like, I want to have a 6-pack. And eventually I got to the point where I did get lean enough to see my abs, but I still didn't have that 6-pack. And I was like, what the fuck, man? Like I do all this work and I still don't have this like pow, 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 and it really bummed me out. It really got to me. And no matter, I tried really hard, and no matter what I did, I still couldn't get that look that I could see on everybody else. And
do you think though, sorry to interrupt you, but I'm thinking specifically of Instagram. I'm thinking specifically of social media. And there's so much discussion about like basically like the generation below us going to be like super effed up, because it's like they only see these highlight reels and they only see, people's good days, not their bad days and stuff. But I know like when we were building Paragon training methods, one of the most important core values to me was I didn't want to be the company that only spammed pictures and videos of like the half naked body and
but that's what
wearing no clothes.
That's what everybody does.
But same thing. It's like it's the transformation before and afters for me, because again, we know those transformations of the before and after pictures. Well, they don't show what happened in between, and they don't show all of the magic sauce and all the things that change. They just show, well, here's this body before. It's not good. And then they show that, hey, this is the better body. And the later body is smaller. It's more defined. It has more abs. It has whatever. So I can speak personally for me. That's like again, from that place of lack of understanding in my early fitness days, the transaction and understanding I had was, if I lose enough weight, if I go exercise enough, I will get smaller and suddenly I'll have abs. And again, like there's just so many things. There's so much nuance to that. But truly, it's like how many clients hire a nutrition coach and just assume, if I just finally lose 20 or 30 pounds, I'm going to have abs. And again, it's like what we actually know is you might be teeny tiny and you still don't have abs. Even at, whatever the lowest body weight you can possibly achieve for you, you actually might not have the genetics for it. You got the short end of the stick. It might not be something that's a reality for you.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't know this, and I didn't actually know this until fairly recently, that a lot of your ab definition, like the way your midsection looks, is determined by genetics. Like if you have a 4-pack or a 6-pack, or like some of those people, I don't know how, like some of those people have like an 8-pack, like all the way down type situation, but that is largely genetic. And
but also like some people have like the sticky outy abs. Some people have like the innie abs. Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I have the innie abs. Like I don't like some people it like perks out like a turtle shell, and it's like, nah, dude. Like mine are like they're there, but like they ain't like. Like what comes to mind is like Ryan Fisher from Chalk Performance Training, Annie Thor's daughter. It's like they got that turtle shell, and I've never, my body ain't built like that. Right?
And you know what's interesting? You know what's interesting about this is that you'll see people that look like this, and then you start to think, everybody looks like this, but you have to also start thinking critically, because perhaps the people that have these bodies they're where they are because they already had this body, right? They're already in the fitness space, and because it's already the body that they have, and it already looks the way that we think is what we're supposed to look like. And so I don't know what that's called. I think that's called something, but I can't remember exactly what that's called. There's like a term for it. Like you already have the ability or already have the skill or genetics, and you just find that this is like the place where you're supposed to be. So,
well, wouldn't it be like your natural set point kind of? It's like,
well, no, but it's like you already have these genetics, and so therefore you already fit this mold, and therefore like this is the peak pinnacle of what you're supposed to look like, and then you're just where you are supposed to be, right? And I think that's really the thing, is that when we're comparing ourselves to these people, like you're comparing yourself to people that have really good genetics, like and you have to take that into account. And again, like I said, like I didn't know that genetics played such a big role in it. I thought it was just merely diet. That if I had worked hard enough, and I ate and I got really super lean, that I would look like that. But yeah, I can still have lean definition of muscle mass and show and have my abs be showing, but I'm not going to look like some dude there that has an 8-pack, because that's just not how my body is built.
And that's such an important understanding. Who actually comes to mind is Brian Borstein, my business partner from Paragon. But it's like, when you look at Brian, like when he's also been training 25 plus years, right? So it's just like, he is a monster. He's a total beast. But it's like, I could wash my clothes on his abs. Like literally, like they are huge. You could touch them, you could squeeze them. And like, I'm not personally built that way. It's like, I'm naturally, again, a very lean individual. And I have definition like from the side, and I do have some from the front, but it's like I've never in my life had like the actual little like squares and rectangles. Like maybe if I was like coming out of surgery and just like a little cactus, even more than my like natural existence, right? But it's like I don't have, it's like I've never had the abs that, you see on some people. And it is, it's like, it's just everybody, like sometimes people even have the abs. And again, if you're not watching this, I'm going to like tell you what I'm doing, but I have my hands out in front side by side. But it's like some people's abs actually aren't even symmetrical side to side. So, that's how Brian's are, is it's like, they're almost like little like bricks or little things where it's like, they're actually kind of offset, which is crazy,
and that's all genetic. The appearance of these muscles, it's all genetic. So, and I'm not saying that you can't ever train, core exercises that's not useful, or it's not useful to work on your nutrition, because you can still achieve a physique where you have, a lean body, lower levels of body fat and muscle definition. But you have to think about it. It's like, you're not going to look like everybody else. You're going to look like you. So that's what you have to work. That's what you have to come to accept.
Totally. Well, and there's so many things to unpack here, right? Because it's like you do have to build abs to see abs, right? Like if I think of little, again,
muscle 92, like anything else, right?
Yeah. Little 92, 93 pound me in college, like I was teeny tiny. I could physically could not have been any smaller, but I didn't have abs. I was just tiny, and I was running marathons. I wasn't lifting. I didn't find lifting, for several years later. But again, I had no 6-pack, no ab definition. But again, in my head, I thought, oh, well, if I just get tinier, then I will see abs, right? And that's just not it. So just understand that, it's like there's so much nuance to all of this. But when people say abs are made in the kitchen, likely what they're referring to is actually more body fat levels and level of leanness. And so what I mean by that is it's like me at 115, 116, 117 pounds. Like we got some abs, we're pretty shreddy, but reversely, it's like if I'm at 120 or 125 pounds, they're not going to be super visible. And also keep in mind too, it's like, that's a drastic body percent change for me. That would be like a 5 or 6% change just to go, 5 pounds up. But yeah, it's like, we do have to be lean enough or small enough to see that definition. But if you haven't spent the time, and I think for so many people, this is a common talking point for clients where it's like, if all you've ever done is diet, and all you've ever done is gone to that ATM that is your body and you've just tried to take. Well, your body never had the tools and it never had the surplus of calories at any time to actually build muscle, AKA build those abs either. And so it's this awkward dance of like, well, hey, so when I diet, am I going to get abs? And you're like, your guess is as good as mine, bud.
Yeah.
Like maybe if you know in a former lifetime when you were at a different body size, like you had them, then yeah, you might. But again, it's just like I've had clients where they were super teeny tiny and then they were really bummed when they realized, man, like genetically, like I just didn't get this thing.
Well, and again, you got to ask yourself too, if that's the only thing that you're doing this for, you gotta think about that for a second, because I mean, there's so much more to eating healthy, training, getting strong than
life. There's so much more to life than just what you look like.
Honestly, I'm going to say it. Fuck abs, man. Abs are overrated. Like, honestly, I've had it abs before. I've not had abs before. And I would say I would rather be happy and be able to do whatever I wanted than sit here and have to, constantly micromanage everything I'm eating to stay at a level of leanness to have a fucking shredded up midsection. Because
I will say, Alex, when I first met you in 2017, I had a tiny amount of angst towards you, because it's like you'd be rolling through Whataburger training and still have abs, and I'd be like, I'm doing the most right now.
But I didn't, and that's what's funny about that, because I had to work for that, and I had to make I had to diet really hard to get to that point. And honestly, I've been on both sides of the coin, and where I'm at now is very sustainable for me. And, I don't have, super duper, hey, we can wash stuff on there, but I feel like I look pretty good. But I'm way more happier, not concerning and not worried about looking in the mirror and seeing if my abs is there. Like, fuck all that, man. It's not the whole thing that makes health and fitness. It's not the holy pedestal of health and fitness.
Totally. And totally too. It's like, if you're listening to this, it's like, obviously you're allowed to care about whatever you want to care about. But just like I said, just keep in mind, it's like really what I'm always going to double down on is the way you eat and exercise should provide freedom and peace of mind. And just know that if that is your goal and you're like, yo, I want a really defined, really shredded six pack, just know that it's going to come at a cost and there's going to be trade-offs. And it's like, yeah, you might have a six pack, but you might not have a sex drive. You might not have a period. You might not have a morning wood. You might feel like shit. You might feel like shit in the gym. There's levels, right? But it's like, for most people, it's like, well, how do we shake out to a point? And I think, exactly what you said, it's like, the fun part about nutrition fitness is it's like you got to live all those lives to kind of figure out where you want to shake out to and to land in the middle 100%. But, we are taking you to church right now. We're just trying to plant some seeds, because that's like, Alex and I have seen some shit over the years between, things we've done with nutrition, things that we've done with fitness, and, just anything we can do, to kind of pass on and hopefully not make the same mistakes we made or skip the learning curve. But truly, it's like for most people, it's like, understand genetics are huge.
Yeah.
Understand that some people might be at super low body fat or super low body weight and still not have abs. But also know, and I think that, again, we talk about social media can be where dreams go to die. Pinterest definitely can be where the dreams go to die. I'm still not doing the TikTok, but I know that TikTok is where dreams definitely go to die. But understand that most people don't select good core exercises and they don't do them regularly enough, or, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So it's like, what I mean is, how common is it to be at the gym and you see people doing sit-ups or the half sit-up where they just curl their upper body, but they're not doing anything. versus, well, shit, man, like it's a big difference if we are doing strength training and we're doing heavy squats and heavy deadlifts. If we are doing
we're also training the core
work,
doing that. Yeah.
We're doing rotational work. So we're doing like heavy Russian dumbbell twists. We're doing stuff like hanging knee raises. We're getting movements with a huge ass range of motion, like toes to bar or strict toes to bar. Hanging knee raises are one of my favorite things, but we're getting that like open to close hip action, or even think about like a V up, right? Like we literally go from laying flat on our back, fold it up like a pancake and then fold it back. That's a whole different animal than like your little type sit-ups. So I would also just say, again, do your research on that. Make sure, because again, man, it's like, I think even our Paragon group, we saw a question and it was like, there's some trend that's popping off on TikTok, and you go on a treadmill, but you walk at a certain incline at a certain speed, and it, promises you like unicorns and rainbows and stuff. And you're just like, where does this shit even come up with? like who does this? And also like, fuck you, because it doesn't, it doesn't do the thing it's probably promoted to do. But same thing, it's like, if I could like never see another person doing like animal flow and weird, like, it's like, I understand everything in fitness has a time and a place. It can have application. Most importantly, if you love and enjoy doing it, keep doing it. But it's like, there's so much fuckery and shillery out there about like, oh, just do this and it'll snatch your waist. Like, stop saying that phrase. First of all, stop this like snatch your waist, like, no. But again, it's like your body doesn't really work a lot of the ways that, again, it's like, you're looking at something and it's gone viral on TikTok or Pinterest or Instagram, it's probably a lot of bullshit. Like, that's a really good freaking rule of thumb. If it is popping off, it's probably not sexy, because we know that nothing that really pays dividends and works, in the nutrition fitness space, it ain't sexy telling people, again, to follow a smart training plan and take rest days and eat fruits and vegetables and go to bed at night. It's like, that's the stuff that moves. But yet you've got people on social media being like, oh, just do this fancy treadmill thing and suddenly you're going to lose all the weight. Or, oh, if you just do this one exercise and jump around like a dummy, you're going to get shredded six pack. It's like, stop.
It's it's like the modern day grocery store checkout magazine rack. That's what that is.
Dude. Talk about Cosmopolitan, Shape Magazine, Women's Health. I feel like I'm missing one more, but like, I literally used to like go to Barnes and Noble because I didn't want to like pay for it because it'd be like a broke college kid. So I'd just go to Barnes and Noble and like flip through all of it, be taking like screenshots on my phone or whatever, like bless it. Right. But it's like, it's super clickbaity. And again, it's always like, there's this level of sexy, the more flashy, the more sexy it is, the more people are like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, that's got to work so well. And you're like, maybe, again, check your sources. So I will, stop on my little rant there, but truly, it's like, just know with the abs thing, it's complicated, and that's not a sexy answer, but it's complicated.